It's 1:30 on May 20th. We're in the Tom Baker Room of the City County Building in Bismarck. This will be the Bismarck-Mandan Metropolitan Planning Organization Policy Board meeting. But before we start, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll call the meeting to order. If we can call roll, please.
Mayor Berglund?
Here.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
Mayor Freilich?
Here.
Commissioner Schwab?
Here.
Chair Schmitz?
Here. First item, number 3 on the agenda, is review and possible approval of the minutes from April 15, 2025. Policy member boards, what are your wishes?
I can move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call roll.
Mayor Berglund?
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer?
Yes.
Mayor Freilich?
Yes.
Commissioner Schwab?
Yes.
Chair Schmitz?
Yes. Item 4 is the fiscal 2026 Recreational Trails Program, or RTP, applications. Stephen.
Thank you, Chair. Give me just one moment to share screen for those online. All right, so the North Dakota Parks and Recreation District recently solicited for applications for the fiscal year 2026 Recreational Trails Program, or RTP. They opened their solicitation on April 1st and accepted applications through April 13th. Applications for projects that are within the MPO area are required to bring the applications to the MPO for support. For this year's solicitation, we received 2 applications, one from Bismarck Parks and Recreation District, which is Exhibit B, and one from the Lincoln Park District, Exhibit C. We found that both of these projects are consistent with our Metropolitan Transportation Plan. I will note that these projects we do not prioritize. We are simply requested to review, and if a policy board should approve, we would provide a letter of support to the applicants to take to the Park District. I will provide a brief overview of the applications using Exhibit A. First, from Bismarck, we have their Cottonwood Park South Trail connections. They are proposing a project to rehab the shared use trail connections within the southern portion of Cottonwood Park. The project includes 5901 linear feet of 10-foot wide shared use trail that is currently aged and cracking, including 176 feet of trail that needs to be removed and replaced. The proposed project is located within one of Bismarck's most popular parks and provides a number of important connections. The application from the Lincoln Park District is the 66th Street Southeast Pathway. This project would be constructing a 10-foot wide gravel pathway starting at Santee Road, going south along the west side of 66th Street, ending at the south city limits approximately 180 feet south of Humbert Drive. The project would include topsoil stripping, common excavation, and earthwork to establish ADA compliance grades for the project, the compaction of soils, and placement of a 6-inch gravel base with an alternative for the Park District to pave if funding is available for that in the future. They would like to do so in the future. This will include ADA compliance crossings at 2 streets with concrete panel and domes to warn users of crossings. And the federal and total costs are included in that exhibit. Now we have representatives from both Bismarck and Lincoln with us today. If there are any questions from the board on either of these projects.
Members? Any questions? So there's no prioritization. So we would
Nope, we would-
recommend, our action would be to recommend support for both, correct?
Correct.
I so move to support both.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call roll.
Mayor Berglund,
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwab,
Yes.
Chair Schmitz.
Yes. Thank you. Next, item 5 is the Bismarck-Mandan MPO self-certification. Stephen?
Thank you. I will be just one moment. So this is a routine self-certification. Our certification is required by United States Code. MPOs must certify their planning processes are being carried out in accordance with federal law. The self-certification must be updated at least every 4 years, but we, as a best practice, update every year as part of our annual tip development and try to account for any changes to federal code. They may have taken place over the last year. The self-certification declares our compliance with current highway bill legislation in 10 different areas, including operations and functions, air quality control, Title VI and civil rights, disadvantaged business enterprise, and non-discrimination. The self-certification in the paper packets has been slightly changed since packets were sent out to remove equal employment language that DOT advised was needed to be changed because of the January executive order rescinding equal employment in federal programs. So for now, everything else is being left as is until we receive word of any other changes to the federal program. And TAC recommended approval of this self-certification at their meeting yesterday. Are there any questions?
Policy Board members, any questions of Stephen? What would your wishes be?
So are you looking for a motion for acceptance?
Correct.
Yes, we would be
Then I
looking for a
will-
motion to approve. Yep.
All right, and I would make that motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call roll.
Mayor Berglund,
Yes.
Commissioner Zachmeyer,
Yes.
Mayor Freilich,
Yes.
Commissioner Schwab,
Yes.
Chair Schmitz.
Yes. Item 6 is a 2025 safety policy study, and Luke Champa. Is that who we have for sure? I should have confirmed early on. I did not do that.
Yeah, you know, I expected Luke to be on, but we are not seeing him online. So with the board's permission, I can go ahead and give that update.
Go ahead.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
The safety policy study is moving right along, although we're not even halfway through the year. We are almost a third of the way through that study as far as completion overall. So things are going very well. We have collected all of the data that we have needed, and so the consultant is deep into the safety analysis and developing the modal high injury network analysis for the study. Yesterday, Luke Champa was able to share a web app, which included an interactive map that will be rolled out to our steering committee. And this kind of detailed crash density and mode separation. And so we'll be further reviewing that to to kind of further this high injury network analysis that's being conducted. And speaking of the steering committee, our next steering committee meeting is going to be held June 26th. So we've got a lot of materials in addition to that map that are being developed and will be shared with those steering committee members. There will be a crash trend summary memo that will be going out for review, as well as a high injury network memo that the consultant will be sharing. In addition to those items, we've also been engaging very heavily in our public outreach efforts. We've taken a couple of opportunities to have community conversations or public outreach through local events. The first was on April 29th in Bismarck. We had a booth at the Earth Day Festival down at the Bismarck Event Center, and that was very, very successful. We had a lot of participation, folks coming in and putting dots on our map and providing lots of comments for us. And our second engagement opportunity we took just this last Saturday, May 17th, and we had a booth or a vendor stand at the Touch a Truck event in Mandan. And again, the weather actually cooperated with us for that. It was a little cool, but it wasn't raining. It wasn't too windy. We had lots of foot traffic. We have lots of dots on our map and lots of comment cards in our box to go through. So we will be compiling all of those items and trying to see some trends and make note of how they might align with the data that we are collecting as well. In addition to that, the subconsultant, Emergent Strategies, Jolene Reek, is conducting some focus groups. These are conversations with very small stakeholder groups such as law enforcement, first responders, youth drivers, and transit and active transportation advocates in the area. In fact, tomorrow morning we'll be having the active transportation, transit, and disabled focus group conversation prior to the bicycle-friendly workshop. So it seems like a pretty good fit. That's about all I have. If there's any questions on the safety study, I will certainly entertain those, be happy to answer those.
Any questions? Thanks,
All
Ken.
right, thank you.
Item 7 is a 2025 ITSRA progress report. Is Shraj Hassoun on? Sherjad? I'm sorry. I should have asked. Is he available?
No worries. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Board. I have a very small presentation prepared for today's meeting. And can you confirm if you can see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Thank you. So we are working with the regional ITS architecture plan for the from NDSU EGPTI with the Bismarck-Mandan MPO. And this was our work plan, and we are still in the very early stage of the data collection very early stage of the project where we finished the data collection from different small groups. And those data collection took place since March 12 until May 1st. And we have heard from each of the groups that we have identified for our for this architecture. And here are some specific items. I'm not going in very much in details onto those technical terms unless there is any question about that. But we have been able to collect most of the information that we need. And now at this point, we are in the phase of coordinating the changes with the stakeholders. So the way we are doing it is by preparing a document which will have some additional information. For example, we have collected some information from them about the roadway elements, which include the vehicles, the roadside field elements, as well as their centers. We are going to include those information in the document. We will update the roles and responsibilities for each stakeholders over there, and also we will identify the total services that has been proposed for these for the region. and that will include some of the services that we have identified in our prior architecture, as well as there are a couple of new services that we are going to move from existing or from planned to existing service packages. And also, as part of the meeting, we have identified some challenges, mostly some data sharing challenges that we will also mention in that document. And from here, what we are going to work on is whatever changes that we have identified, we will start including into the architecture slowly, and we'll give by the end of this month, we will be sending out this document and waiting for maybe a couple of weeks for the stakeholders to get back. And we'll start putting those changes in place of the architecture. At the same time, we will be preparing for some additional meetings where we will collect information about whether all the systems that they have, how they are performing. So based on that, we will have another meeting with specifically with the IT group, probably at the beginning of the fall semester or beginning of the fall season. So that's pretty much all what I have as an update. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Policy board members, any questions? Thank you, sir. Item 8 is 2025 monitoring report update. Stephen.
Thank you, Chair. Just a very brief update for you today. We have been holding biweekly meetings with the consultant for this update, HDR, to review the existing monitoring report. We have completed an initial review, and HDR has begun to work on a document outline. And we have set May 28th at 1 p.m. as the date for our monitoring report stakeholder workshop. So many of your jurisdictional staff have been invited to participate, to review the document and suggest data to incorporate into the update that would benefit your offices. We will have a more substantial update to bring to you in June. Are there any questions?
Questions?
Thank you.
Item 9, other business. Do we have any other business? If not, we're adjourned.